Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dora. Thank you for clicking to watch this video. If you're new, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, hi. So today's video is going to be the start to Ramadan series that I have planned out for this channel. As we all know, Ramadan is around the corner, and on the day you guys are getting this video is going to be exactly 31 days or 30 days to Ramadan. So I wanted to start off early and also just use this to kind of set a reminder, help my viewers all that will be fasting, set a reminder and start to prepare your mind and prepare yourself and the things around you for the holy month. So in this video today, I'm just going to share some of the basic reminder of what Ramadan entails, and also for our non-Muslim viewers that probably have Muslim friends but do not understand the essence of Ramadan and why it is important for Muslims, why we take it so seriously. I hope you're going to learn something from this video at the end of today. So let's just get right into this video. But before we do so, please do not forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and hey, thank you all that have been following me on my Instagram. I see you and I just want to say thank you. For my non-Muslim subscribers, you wouldn't know that Ramadan is actually the 9th month in the Islamic calendar. Yes, it is going to start with the Gregorian calendar in April, which is the 4th month, but to us Muslims it is the 9th month of in our Islamic calendar. So the significance of Ramadan as a month is that the Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in this month, and the Quran is the significant part of the Islamic or a Muslim's life in which it was revealed to us or to mankind for the purpose of guidance, and also as a criterion for in which we live our lives. This can be found in Quran chapter 2 verse 185. This is one of the most significant part of Ramadan for Muslims. Ramadan as a holy month can last between 29 and 30 days, and it is basically fasting in which Muslims that engage in fasting during this period would not eat for a certain period of time of the day, which is usually going to be between the dawn and sunset. That is the period, or the period of Fajr, to Maghrib as we call it in Arabic, or as we say as Muslims. Before we commence the Ramadan period, we have to make intentions. As Muslims, you have to make intentions. Some school of thoughts would say that you have to make intention every day. Some would say that once you make that intention, you don't have to make it every day throughout the 29 or 30 days that we are going to fast. There is the sighting of the moon that signifies the start, and there is the sighting of the moon that also signifies the end of Ramadan. And people celebrate the end of a successful Ramadan, inshallah. Ramadan is for everybody, but also not for everybody. If you're a Muslim, you're eligible to fast, but there are also people that are exempted from fasting, which includes children, the likes of the Khairiyya, and the likes of Khairiyya and Sar, and there are age where children are encouraged to start fasting. I intend to start getting Khairiyya into the fasting mood as early as 7 years old, so by the time she's 7, she should be able to either put down one whole day of fast, have fasting, just to help teach them. And even during this month of Ramadan, inshallah, if Allah spares our lives till that time, I still intend to see if I can get her to do it, even if it's just for one day. Let her get that mental understanding. Let us examine how her body will be able to handle it, because that is how I started, and being able to fast all these years of my life. Other people that are exempted for fasting are menstruating women. If you are menstruating, you are not allowed to fast for the period of your menses till your period is over. If you're old, weak and sick, not just old in terms of age, if you're aged, like really really aged, and you're very sick and your health can't, you have that sickness that the absence of certain nutrition or nutrients in your body makes you sicker and weaker, you are exempted for fasting. But there are things you can also do to make up for that fasting. If you're pregnant, during the period of your pregnancy, some women are still able to fast, but it is not mandatory at that time for you to fast. But you can either pay off your fasting that you've missed once your baby is here and you're out of that early nursing phase, that you can handle the absence of food and certain nutrients in your body. Then you can pay off. Some school of thoughts also say that you can also feed during the month of when you're pregnant, like late into your pregnancy, and you know that there is no way you can do this, and chances are that you might still be breastfeeding when the next cycle of fast is around, and you still are in that early stages of motherhood and might not be able to still handle paying back another full 30 days of fasting. So you are allowed to feed. These are school of thoughts, different school of thoughts to this. Do not quote me on this. Ask your imam, ask your malams to guide you properly on your own school of thought and their school of thought. Some travelers at some point are exempted, but people still travel depending on the distance you're traveling, are exempted from fasting, because if you're traveling a 20-something hours flight and you're not able to keep track of time and where you're where you're going to and all that, you are exempted from fasting. But once fasting period is over, you are supposed to repay that fasting. For one, what I did is that when I was going to Nigeria in 2019, it was during the month of Ramadan, and I still went on with my fasting because I was right here. I was still in the States when it was time for iftar. We were just about to board when it was time for iftar, so I could still handle it. Then when it was time for us to go to Nigeria, I did my sahur right when it was Nigeria time, because I just set my clock to that, and I did my sahur because I knew I was going to sleep throughout, and by the time I arrived Nigeria, it was still very much daytime, 1 p.m. So there was just no way I would have just arrived Nigeria and start eating and everything. I could still fast, and I did it. I wasn't under any stress. I was well fed, well hydrated, well taken care of, so I could still do my fast. I fasted with the Mr. Fasted, and yeah, I think those are the people that are exempted. The mentally unstable, they can't fast. That is still part of sickness. These are really like the basic things that we need to remind ourselves of, and for the benefit of the people that do not know, or new converts, people who are just new into the faith. These are the things you need to be aware of. One of the main reasons why I decided to actually make this video today is because I know that Ramadan as a month is really special for Muslims. If you are non-Muslim, you probably won't get that vibe, but just imagine getting your vibes for Easter, just imagine getting your vibes for Christmas, how you feel, but for us it is extremely and significantly also very special. And we set goals. I don't know if people set goals, but you are actually supposed to set goals for Ramadan because it comes once every year. It's a very special month where a lot of things have been promised to mankind or Muslims that are fasting. So you have to actually go in with a level of consciousness and preparedness for your mind, for your body, and for your soul. Number one mistake a lot of people make are setting unrealistic goals. Some people will set unrealistic goals like, I want to recite the whole of the Quran throughout the month, and probably are not so good in the recitation and they just want to try. And at the end of the day, they start and they get overwhelmed, or they just don't know how to go about the verses or the chapters of the Quran to even actually start with. Some people would start from Baqarah, and we know Baqarah is very long. If you are not so good with the recitation of the Quran, you can actually recite Baqarah for an entire 2 weeks, depending on how good you are. So you realize that you spend 2 weeks reading Baqarah, Imran, those very long surahs, and you get stuck and you get overwhelmed, and before you know it, you're closing up your Quran and you don't recite for the rest of the Ramadan. So that is an opportunity lost. So setting realistic goals is very, very important. Weigh yourself, weigh your strength, weigh the things that you are. There are many things that you can do during this month that is not just necessarily reciting the Quran. Increasing how many voluntary prayers you make, like your salat, the nafilas, not just the obligatory one. I always see it as the things that you put in that extra effort to do are equally very, very rewarding, as if they were obligatory on you to do it. Because if they are obligatory, they are obligatory, I'm like, yeah, I'm mandate, I do it whether I am willing to do it or not. I just do it because I'm forced to do it. Allah have commanded us to do it. But when you now think about the voluntary part of things, like, just giving your mind that extra consciousness to stand up, to push your body, push yourself to do something for the sake of Allah, is very, very gratifying and very, very rewarding and satisfying for your mind, for your soul. So set realistic goals. Some of the goals you can set is for you to actually have a planner, or simply on your phone. There are 30 days in the month. Every day, what are you going to do differently? Are you going to do more zikr today? Are you going to do more voluntary prayers today? Are you going to spend time to recite or learn the Quran more today? Are you going to spend tomorrow helping somebody, being kind and doing good deeds? These are other things that these are goals that you can set, little everyday goal that are very realistic. I actually even call it objectives, because they are the ones that are smart. Just like your project management, they are the ones that are smart. The ultimate goal is for you to, by the end of Ramadan, be more conscious of your Creator. You have values that you have taken out of the holy month. You have bettered your relationship. You have received God's forgiveness, God's mercy. Those are the ultimate goals. But what are those objectives that you take on during this 29-day period or 30-day period? Is for you to actually increase your salawat to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, increase the amount of prayers, voluntary prayers that you make. You increase the amount of good deeds, your sadaqah. Set aside amounts of money that you can easily, freely give out, and not deprive yourself something, because you can't give what you don't have. Basically, that is what it is. So, and charity begins at home. Look around you. Who are the people that are needy? Make sure you reach out to them. Sadaqah is not just giving out money. Do acts of kindness. They are charity upon you. Remember, what you pray for someone else is what you're praying for yourself indirectly. So let us really be conscious of setting realistic goals during this month, and not just go in bogus minded and not really sure of what we intend to get out of this month. The other thing I would like to also bring to our consciousness is consciousness. Actually, it's called taqwa. If you are a Muslim, the consciousness of Allah is something that you should not joke with in and out of Ramadan. The consciousness during the month of Ramadan is just also extremely special, because Allah have promised us a lot of things during this month. Everything that you do in this month is not for you, it is for Him. You are doing it for His sake. You're doing it to get His mercy, to get His forgiveness, His blessings. So you have to be very, very conscious of Allah. Be fearful, fear for the wrath of Allah. That is one thing a lot of people underestimate. Fear for the wrath of Allah, and beg for His mercy and beg for His forgiveness. Wherever you are, think about, when you take your bath and you're going to work, will I be able to pray where I'm going to? If you are in a work environment that might be hard for you, or you've never thought about, can I actually pray in this place? Please go around your workplace now and set a place and start scouting for a place you can easily pray, and so that you don't push all your prayers. At the end of the day, you come home, is when you're breaking fast, you're praying all your prayers. That is one thing. And be mindful of yourself. There are things that you just have to keep put in place when you're going out. Are you going to a place where you cannot pray? Are you going to a place where you cannot just do certain things, or throughout the day you cannot even recite your Quran? Because the truth is that we have jobs, so this is where you're also going to be mindful of yourself. People have jobs. There are doctors, professionals, people that work in a very tough environment that they can't even take a break to even take to breathe. It is very, very hard, and even when they do, it's not significant to do anything for themselves. So what are those steps, what are those things you're going to put in place? Consciously saying zikr in your mind, whenever you're doing things, or when you have little break in between your work. This is just to keep your mind purified for yourself, be mindful for yourself, and you're still mindful of your creator, and be mindful of others as well, because the period of Ramadan, is the period where everybody wants to either be their best in the kitchen, trying to cook a whole storm of meal just to break fast. But honestly, that is not really the essence of Ramadan. Yes, your body is starved for a period of time. There is that urge that, there is that craving, that urge that comes with wanting to eat everything and all that. But at the end of the day, when you're doing things like that, for people that have workers around them and you're overworking them to cook all these delicacies for you, please be mindful of them. Give them room to also perform their ibadah. You can't. Yes, they are working for you. It is their own job. It is also their own halal means of earnings. But what is greater than that is for you to also understand that they also need to establish consciousness with their creator in their minds, and want to perform ibadah. But you find some people with helps, and their helps from morning to evening, they are cooking, they are serving, they are doing all these things, and they don't get. Yes, they are rewarded for what they are doing, but be kind, do unto others what you would like to be done to you. You are taking time to also make ibadah, right? You know how important this month is, you know how important it is, and how everybody wants to be closer to their creator one way or another. So please be mindful of others. Another thing I'm going to say, that if you're a non-Muslim and you're watching this, please also reach out. This is a very hard time, most especially back home in Nigeria, where things are expensive, people can barely feed. If you have things, share with people. Reach out to people. You are going to be helping someone, you're going to be putting food on someone's table. It's not all work and no play. And like I said, be mindful of others, give people room, don't be too angry, control your emotions. Don't give in to feelings too much, because again, when you don't know what the next person is going through and you just transfer of aggression, it is a very psychological period. When the stomach is starved, the mind, what do they say, a hungry man is an angry man, right? So there is that tendency that emotions, people feel tired, people feel stressed, people feel worn out. But whatever it is that you're doing, know that you're doing it all for the pity of God. You want God's mercy. You're doing it, you want God's mercy. This is the only thing he asks of us. 1 month in a year, give it to him, serve him, do the things that he's asked you to do the things that he's mandated you to do, and yours is not more special than the others around you. So whatever you're doing to yourself, please be mindful of the next person that actually does not know what you're going through, Muslim or Christian. And control your mind, control your emotions. We are humans, so as you expect people to give you room to be human, also be willing to give people room to be human as well. So this is just the basic introductory part of the Ramadan series for AADO Lifestyle. There are other things I intend to bring to you guys throughout the month of Ramadan. I'm not going to promise consistency in content, because like I said, it is a very private moment for me. Like, I love Ramadan. A lot does not really change in my life, except between my relationship between myself and my creator, but everything around me pretty stays the same. But at the end of the day, I'm going to still bring Ramadan inspired contents. I'm going to share a whole lot of things. This is just part one. Stay tuned for I'm going to bring a part two of this introductory series of Ramadan. So I'd like to know what you guys are planning for Ramadan. What are your goals? What do you intend to do differently for this month? And yeah, I hope you guys have learned something for this, and you're going to take this as a sign to start preparing yourself mentally, physically, emotionally for the month of Ramadan. Inshallah, I pray that whatever it is that we set to achieve in this month, that Allah, in the holy month as it comes, that Allah grants it to us. I pray that Allah spares our lives all through the month and beyond. See you guys in my next video. Do not forget to thumbs up, subscribe, and stay blessed.
It's like a family tree.